guys, Locky from e-Spurs Australia here with your e-Spurs match reaction to the loss against West Ham this morning, last night, whichever time zone you may be in. Yeah, bit of a bummer, right? I guess we're all feeling a little bit dejected. Wasn't a great day for me here. And I'm sure you're feeling the same way. Obviously not mathematically impossible to win the title at the moment, but you would say that second is where we're at now. Now, I saw a lot of sort of negativity as well as positivity sort of on Twitter and stuff like that this morning. I didn't make a reaction video to the Arsenal game because I felt that it was just such a joyous, momentous occasion, and I was quite drunk after the game as well. But I felt that the event and the narrative was there for all to see, and I'm not going to tell any of you how to celebrate what is a naturally amazing experience. However, with this one, you know, I feel like it does have, we need to talk about it, right? So first of all, I just want to sort of run through some of the moments of the game to sort of get a gauge of what I found interesting. The first one, of course, has to be the big chance in the first half where Harry Kane forced a very good save from the West Ham goalkeeper, but you do. Thinking back on it now, I feel like he probably could have scored. I mean, he hit it straight at the keeper. The keeper's pulled off. Yeah, it's an extraordinary save, but you feel a little bit either way, or, you know, pick out a corner. He is an amazing striker. It's those kind of moments where you would expect him to find them back at the net no matter what. Defensively, I thought our line was quite strange today. It often felt that the two centre backs, be it Vertonghen and Alderweireld, would sort of be further in their own little line further toward our goal, and our fullbacks would be quite far up attacking, and that just left this massive gap to be exploited by the West Ham attacking players like Lanzini and Ayew, and they did play well defensively as well. West Ham were quite good today. They definitely brought it was their best game of the season, which, you know, they won safety today, whereas we lost the chance at winning the title. So, you know, it gives a slight indication on priorities at the moment, and the way they were celebrating the match was pitiful, really. I mean, you got to feel sorry for these guys if beating lowly old Tottenham is the highlight of their entire season. So, who's the winner at the end of that? Just as I mentioned that, I sort of remembered that bit in the second half where Eriksen wants to take a corner, the ball is in their fans, in the crowd, and they're just throwing it about themselves and laughing, and, oh man, scumbags, right? Like, what a just childish, stupid thing to do. Anyway, so yeah, West Ham have to be commended for how they played today, but it is a mixture, you feel, of Spurs not really turning up. I mean, obviously they were frustrated and stifled by a very stubborn and, well-drilled West Ham defence, but, they had their entire team basically, like, in their box for the entire game. They parked the bus. They knew that we had to win the game. They played off the circumstances surrounding the match. And I guess we played quite sluggishly and didn't really kick the ball around quick enough to sort of break down that defence. You wonder why it was sort of, when Dyer and Wanyama are both on the pitch coming up against a team that's sitting back like that. There's not much. Although Wanyama needs to be commended for he did bring the ball forward. He was passing it a few times. He had a couple of good touches in the box, but we do lack a bit of creativity with those two on the pitch in the middle of the park. And while that worked perfectly against Arsenal, who were going to come at us, and we need to shut that down. Against a team that's just in their half, these two players don't really have that eye for a quick pass or an incisive run. So that didn't work in our favour, and perhaps Pochettino didn't make that substitution for Dembele quick enough. But I really don't think that, while there are some negatives to draw from it, and obviously we're all disappointed, I don't think it's really worth it to just, it's football. You lose some games. We've just won 9 in a row. You're going to come up against the wall at some point. And it's unfortunate that it was against such a rubbish team, but it is what it is. What was a bit worrying perhaps was in the second half. Apart from a couple of half chances, you'd feel we didn't threaten them really enough. There wasn't really a clear-cut chance. You'd wonder if Jensen was thrown on, but perhaps not quick enough. Or again, I'm not going to question Pochettino. This is the team that came back from 1-0 down against Swansea to win 3-1. So it just wasn't our day, So that's that. I do hope, however, that the interviews with Davies and Dyer after, they really looked pretty bummed from that result. Davies in particular, he said that just no one really said anything back there, and I'm sure the players are feeling it a lot, not just the fan base, but you'd hope that they bounce back better than they did last season at this point when the title was taken away from Spurs. We basically lost all endeavour and we didn't win a game until the end of the season. So you do hope that they can bounce back from this defeat and, really show Manchester United a good game. It's the last ever game at White Hart Lane. If that's not enough to boost these players' morale, I don't know what would be. So hopefully that'll be enough to have a really, and we just need a few more points to solidify second. So that game will be very interesting to watch, and I am excited for that. I'm still, it's Spurs. If you don't expect to be sad most of the time as a Spurs fan, then you probably shouldn't be a Spurs fan. So the sadness has been in short supply this season, but we did need a bit to just keep us balanced, right? I guess I should talk a little bit about Kyle Walker, because I sort of haven't made a video since his whole thing, but whether this is, it seems like the rumours now are a bit more concrete than the usual bullshit that gets, rolled out by newspapers. It looks like there is some substance there. And I feel he could have been legitimately dropped after the Crystal Palace game anyway. He played pretty badly in that game. And whether that was mentality or what, he had a bad game and he was dropped for the next one. That's fine. That's what happens. But he played pretty badly today as well. And again, whether this is mentality or if he's just sort of dropped off at the end of the season or his head has been well and truly turned, I don't know. He played again like he did against Crystal Palace with very little good stuff to show, really. It was kind of like his old performances before sort of Pochettino had moulded him into a machine that we all know and love. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Kyle Walker, and I will be devastated for him to leave the club. But I do understand that there are circumstances around him where he might want to be closer to his family. Hey, we all want to earn a little bit more money, right? So I won't. This isn't Sol Campbell stuff right here. So it'll be sad to see him go. It'll be sad to see any of the boys go. I don't want to see Lamelo go, or I probably wouldn't care too much if Sissoko left. But it is interesting, and that Poch had enough faith in him to start him today. So obviously his mentality is there to a certain degree, whether they've talked it out. But the performance for me wasn't there. I mean, he's always full of running, but yeah, he was unlucky to be booked in the first, few stages of the game. But yeah, it was unfortunate, and it was pretty. I guess it was a pretty performance from everyone. I mean, Alderweireld, after when he just turned around and tried to get past a player, and almost it could have been 3-0 to West Ham. Really, I mean, they should have scored in the last second. That Alderweireld one was terrible. Yeah. No. Oh, and one sort of positive I want to get back to. I've watched the Arsenal game about 3 times since, because that was a happy time for me. And a similar thing happened today where Lloris came out to get a ball and just got a touch on it. A similar thing happened against Arsenal where he just got a fist to a ball and then took the player out. And the first time I saw it against Arsenal, I was like, wow, that was either pretty skillful or pretty lucky. And the fact that he did it again today, I mean, did he get lucky twice? Or is he just an amazing sweeper keeper, and you can just rely on him to be able to do that? I mean, I guess the call, obviously he got the ball and it was a fine challenge, but the ref could have called against it quite easily if he just didn't see it right. I don't know. But, like I said, that's skillful keeping. And I've heard a few times in the last week how Lloris has sort of been an unsung hero this season. I mean, he hasn't had much to do, but he's brilliant. He's the best keeper in the league, and he deserves just as much of the attention as the rest of our fine squad. Now, I'll probably do a preview video for Manchester United later in the week when we're all feeling a little bit more good about ourselves and the world. So look forward to that. In the meantime, chin up. This is what being a Spurs fan is all about. And at least we're not West Ham supporters. Imagine how rubbish that would be. Anyway, this has been Locky from e-Spurs Australia. Subscribe to this channel. Keep looking for my videos. I'm loving the comments down the bottom as well. If you have any questions you want me to answer, I'll be more than happy to. I will see you next time. And until then, come on, you Spurs. See you later.